Truck Talk Media.
C10 Talk, episode 201, Dino's Get Down, the 10th annual Get Down. They did it. What a show.
It was my first year down here. We planned about a week ago to come here, and it was worth the 13-hour drive, and we're coming back every year. And truck scene down here is like nothing else. Yeah. Absolutely nothing else. And if you're a C10 truck guy, this is the place to be.
Damn, son.
Let me tell you what Melbourne Post is packing right here. I've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some fucking muscle.
What does that do? Did that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Got this ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth flapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
What's up? What's up? Hell yeah, getting back behind the mic, the Get Down, the 10th annual Get Down, bringing you a little live interviews from the Get Down, wrap up the show. I'll tell you what, I'm pinching myself. We did it. They did it. You did it. Everybody that came out, you made it. You made it the best. There was times where we did not know if this was going to happen. It happened. My gut is that with COVID kind of working its way up, the numbers in Arizona, if they didn't already have the wheels in motion as far as they did with Glendale, with the permitting, with everything that they showed that they were going to do, from the mass, the cleaning stations, the social distancing within the parking and the vending, I feel like they probably would have shut it down. So a little bit of luck, a little bit of amazing timing, and everything happened. It worked out. It was awesome. And if you made it, thank you for coming. Safe travels to and fro. I hope everybody made it home just fine. If you didn't make it, we understand. It's a different world. Hopefully you can make it for the 11th annual Get Down next November 2021. Who the hell knows? But it was a hit, and it was a success because people had respect for the show. Mask up to Get Down. People were wearing their masks. I'm telling you, they were. And I don't really know that many problems. The one thing I did think was funny is a couple cops weren't wearing their masks, and I was like, well, hard to enforce that. But bottom line is, everything doesn't have to make sense. We just had to follow the rules. We did, you did, and the show was a hit. The vending area, the numbers I'm getting right now are probably around 2,000. Yeah, crazy 2,000, a free show. It was spread from one end of Westgate to the other. So I did hear Dino say that at one point, I think the governor's office did call like Westgate and was like, hey, we're getting, we're hearing this. And they're like, everybody's wearing their masks. We got it. We're good. And they said, all right, good to go. I did see a helicopter fly around a few times just about the time they were either going to cover the King of Beats or it was just coincidental timing. In my mind, I'm thinking they're freaking zooming in and it's the local news saying, what the hell is this humongous gathering over here in Glendale? But hey, we did it, and it went for 2 days. That was Friday, and so there wasn't any shutdowns on Saturday. Everything was a go. Great job. Great job for everybody following the rules, respecting Dino's wishes, respecting the show wishes, and making it happen. So thank you, the Get Down, coming at you. You can check out, I'm sure Grindr and UBT both have coverage. I saw both those guys, their crews all working hard. Grindr TV, YouTube, UBT United by Trucks, Robbie and his crew as well. So check out those YouTube channels. I've got some, pretty much if there's an interview that you're going to hear here, there's a corresponding video, hopefully a walk around. So check out C10 Talk and you'll get a little visual of the guys that I'm interviewing. Obviously, it links over to Facebook too, and there'll be a walk around so you kind of get that visual vibe with everything. 2,000 trucks is what I'm hearing. They did allow the Fords. Cool, right? It was cool, and the Ford guys responded. Honestly, it was cool. They did kind of put them in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner, but the Ford guys got put in kind of a corner. but I saw a lot of guys walking over there, and there were some really nice trucks, really nice Ford trucks. Willie Davis, Big Willie, came out of Grand Junction, Colorado, put together one of the nicest bump side trucks I've ever seen. So Willie Davis and the whole Ford crew, Solomon, Jason from Fat Fender, they rallied their troops and they showed up with some really nice stuff. So kudos for those guys for doing that, and it just added to the show. And I'll be honest with you, it was the right move. It really was. In the time of COVID and the craziness that we have in this world, if you think about, even with the election, we can all get along, okay? So the Ford guys, the Chevy guys, maybe a Dodge guy sprinkled in there, it all works out. Friday, they allowed the Fords, and Saturday was open to all GM. So it was really cool to see some of the different rides that came through, and it really just kind of spices it up. So awesome job, everybody that came out. Thank you to Dino. Thank you to Krista, Chevy Only Krista, the staff, the volunteers. Without the volunteers, they are all wearing their orange shirts, mask up to get down, and they were working traffic. They were working everything. Golf carts rolling up and down. Think about to police, to manage, to keep a show of that size together, and it's a free show, so you've got a lot of volunteers. My hat's off to, and thank you to all the volunteers that helped out. Krista, great job. Dino, as always. I mean, I even saw Dino out there directing traffic. So a few of the events that we covered with the bonus show was John Oro's unveiling in the Provost Motorsports. Special time. Something I'll never forget. Never. Obviously, John is near and dear to my heart. The Provost guys did it. And Prom Queen 3.0 shit was awesome. The interior, the lighting, the wheels, the stance, the paint, everything about it was covered really well. We did a quick story on our Instagram, and it's kind of all throughout. You can also check out C10 Club, and John's got some stuff there. Provost as well. So Provost Motorsports. But it means a lot because John does do a lot for our community. So thank you to John for everything you do. It's very well deserved. And Provost and your team, Metalox was involved. Carlos Vidalis from Drop Lowered. Great unveiling. Great job on the Blazer. And to the whole Provost team, you guys killed it. I'll probably forget somebody, but Aaron, Dennis, Rick, Cole, Jose, list goes on and on. I don't want to forget anybody, and obviously Sean as well. So there's a lot of people involved with that, and they did a real great job. And the unveiling was fun. There was a lot of people involved, so it worked out really good. Now, the big beat contest, King of Beats, beat off everything. That was at 3:00 on Friday. That was different. That was fun. But I did talk to Sam a little bit, and you really kind of had a different vibe in that you had the old school guys with some real crisp and clean, but then you had some guys that's really what they were doing. They're kind of built for stereo competitions. So the competition was, I guess, I don't know if I would say skewed, but you had a different level throughout. I think there ended up being like 6 trucks. Carlos Vidalis from Drop Lowered shows up as LL Cool J. If you haven't seen that, you got to jump on social media, but literally had everything, the vibe, the clothes, the jumpsuit, the leisure suit, the necklace, the hat, everything. LL Cool J shows up. He took home, I think, the 3rd place trophy, the 2nd place trophy. Golly, I thought the kid might have got it because the one kid was just, oh man, his system was set up big time. And then the guy that took home 1st place was Brett Pokes. He's got a square body crew cab with like a sleeper, just jam packed with like 15s. I mean, it was off the charts. The other thing that I thought was funny about the competition was one of the guys, Joey G's boys, comes in late, wasn't already set up to be in, and then they started having a little competition after the competition, which was really cool. It's really kind of what it was. It's like, oh, you guys got a competition going? I'll come over here and I'll get in the competition. It didn't last long. Those two were just kind of going back and forth, but I do know the kid also that was involved. He had an NBS. It was just jam-packed with speakers. I mean, the whole thing was shaking. I don't even know what the decibel level. I think it was like 125 or something. Later down the road, either that must have been probably Saturday, he was doing something and some people were gathering around, and it was Big Beat 2.0. But that event was fun. It was all these little things like that kind of kept people, give you plenty to do between the vendors and the little shows. Saturday, not a lot. At that point, people were just kind of cruising around. The weather was great. Great show. I think you get the point. tons going on, great people, got to meet some people, got to see some people, and that's really what it's all about. In today's age, we kind of bring that forward and say, hey, man, we need the connection. We want to connect. We want to hang out. And the Get Down provided that. So, again, thank you to all. Let's jump over to some reviews and get you guys going to some pod here real quick. Let me jump here. Thank you to all who have taken the time to leave us a review. Please, we're right around the corner from 600. I appreciate the support. Best pod out there, 5 stars by Slick Napier. He's biased. He's also the one of the D100 guys, but at the time he wasn't. So let's see what he's got here. Most enjoyable pod out there. I've tried listening to others with little success. I'm a Mopar guy and I've never owned a C10 and probably never will. Regardless, I love the community and the overall group. The pod is motivating and gets me excited about getting work done on my own projects. Keep on trucking. Your boy Slick down in Tucson. Great dude right there. He came up to the Get Down Mopar guy, and we need to get a little more Mopar love over there at the show for the few guys that are driving those Dodges around. Maybe need to get a little corner for them. Thank you for doing that, Slick. Just started listening, 5 stars by Aaron S. Ronnie, you are doing a fantastic job. Don't stop it. What a great joy listening to the podcast. A1 quality. All right. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Just started listening, 5 stars. You're the man, 5 stars by Slammed Bronco. I've been listening for a long time and really enjoy listening to all the Builders highlights along with the Fab episodes. Keep up the good work. Slam Bronco, I think that's Devin. Thank you for doing that. You guys were right there on the cusp of 600. Doesn't matter. Just leave us a rate, leave us a review, let us know how we're doing. And we do appreciate the feedback. If you saw me wheeling around all weekend, you knew what I was doing. I had my longboard. I was moving. I was shaking. I was weaving. I was grooving. It was a lot of fun seeing everybody. That's one thing about shows that's tough is I want to get the content, but I also want to hang out with people. So it's, again, back to that balance of everything. I appreciate you guys' support. Next show for us, the big one on your calendar, February, I think it's like 23rd, 24th, 25th right there, but LST, eastbound and down to the Throwdown. We'll be doing it again, and it's the 10th annual Lone Star Throwdown. Who would have thought, earlier this year we went, we had fun, and then right after that, the world changed for us. So LST 2021, 10th annual, put it on your calendars. All right, guys, be patient with us on the website. We'll get all the products put back in. So check back. We've got the new MTV style C10 Talk shirt, easily one of my favorites now. We've got some new killer designs, stickers, everything, hats, you name it. Website will probably be up a little bit later this week. And then if you guys weren't able to get to the Get Down, you can get on there. I'm telling you, we need to reorder the girl one that we did. We sold out of some of the sizes, but I know what you're thinking. He's got a really cool truck. We'll get that reordered and have it up on the website. I'll let you guys know. But we got some new shirts, some new hats, some new stickers. So check it out, c10nation.com, c10nation.com. Thank you so much for the support. I'm not sure if I'll drop one next week or not. Probably not. Have a great, safe, blessed Thanksgiving. I hope you're surrounded by friends, family, no more than 10. Just joking. Enjoy each other's company. I'll be back in December. Late. All right. A little Get Down Fun 2020 coming at you. It is Friday, and this place has been crazy. I've got Sean Cresswell out of Long Beach, Cali, and Brodini, Brodini 2828. Sean, what's the significance of the Instagram first and foremost? And thank you for coming on C10 Talk.
Yeah, no problem. Basically, the whole reason why I started it was a couple of buddies over in Vegas and we were doing some long travel Chevy stuff, pre-renter stuff, and one of them said, I'm going to start a Instagram. It's Brodozer. The other one's Broham, and I'm kind of the guy that everybody goes to just throw everything together. So I make basically anything out of nothing. So they all started calling me Brodini, kind of just a magician. I can do pretty much anything. So they're like, well, let's just call you Brodini. And then the 2828 was my dad's quarter midget racing number back in the 50s. So I just kind of, stuck with that and just kind of sticks.
I dig it. Cool name and really a rad truck. So we've got a 456, 6456. He's got a big block in there. What's the story on this truck and how'd you come across it? And what all have you done to it?
Well, I came across it when I was living up in Oregon. That was about, I'd say about 4 years ago now. Got it from, ironically, an ex's aunt's father-in-law.
Hold on. ex's aunt's father-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay, so ex-boyfriend or girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Okay, girlfriend. Okay, ex-girlfriend, and her aunt's father-in-law.
Yeah.
That's deep, dude.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So she just knew you were a C10 guy or a truck guy, or you just like cool old stuff?
I just like cool old stuff.
But then how did that lead come? The aunt said, hey, what do you think? Or
Well, I knew the guy for probably a good 12, 13 years prior to that. Didn't even know they were related. And then come to find out when I moved back to Oregon from Vegas that they were related somehow. And he had a 66 3/4 ton dually that he needed some work done to it. So I basically did the work he wanted done and then traded for his wife's truck, which is this truck. And then I basically just used his barn and built it the first time and cut it down to a short bed because it used to be a long bed. And then, I just wanted to be different, so I went with the big block, and then I converted it to right-hand drive just to be different. Full air ride, and it's literally a 2x4 box tube frame built in the floor of my garage, and just having as much fun as I can with it now.
where do you live now?
Now I live in Long Beach, California. First year coming out here to Dino's, and it's awesome. I mean,
Did you by chance come with Travis Nowak, or are you friends with Travis? Because he told me about a right-hand drive, and I wasn't sure. So now I'm putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Okay, very cool.
yeah, I met Travis 6.5, 7 years ago when I lived in Vegas, and he moved down about 5 houses from me, and started hanging out with him, and he, just good friendships after that, and moved back and forth, stayed in touch. And on the trip down here, we actually stopped off in Vegas with a truck and stayed with him, and then we all just caravaned down here yesterday. And it's kind of just one of those things. It's small world and people you meet and places you go. It's it's a great scene to be in.
Cool, and I'm glad to hear you say that, because that's really what it's all about. The other thing that's really all about is just how you took this truck, and it's not a real high-dollar truck. It's a really rad truck, though. So what you did is you budget built, you built it yourself, you did all this stuff. You took what GM gave you. You took 50 years of love. It's got the custom trim, and you really just massaged that. And that's the thing that keeps the C10 community alive. Is we're lucky that there's still trucks out there. We're lucky that there's guys like you that have the ingenuity and just the craziness and the Houdini Brodini to say, I'm going to cut it down. But the right-hand drive's a little crazy. What was your thoughts? Like, why? I mean, there's some, I like challenges in life, but that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I started building the 31 sedan, Ford sedan, little rat rod that I was doing about 10 or 11 years ago, and had to sell it. I literally had the fuel tank and some electrical to do, and I could have been driving it. But I started doing the right-hand drive conversion on that and never got to drive it. So I sold that and got the truck and just kind of thought, well, let's be different. I want to do a right-hand drive. I started it. Why not finish it now? So, I mean, I just finished it, and it's weird making the left-hand turns when they have a median. Other than that, it's awesome. It throws people out. I pull up next to them, and they look over, and they kind of double take, and, oh, hey, look, he's on the wrong side. It's pretty cool to see everybody's reactions on it. And I mean, just even here at the show, they'll look at it and see the engine. They're like, oh, that's cool. They'll walk to the back. Oh, that's cool. And they'll just happen to glance at it because it doesn't stand out. And then everybody just stands there for another 10 minutes and just stares at it. So they could be here for 2 minutes and stand there for 20, or they could be here for 20 and then see it and stand for another 20. Just trying to figure out what I did.
What was your hardest part to do that?
Well, I don't know. Actually, it was all fairly simple and straightforward. I mean, as long as you have the know-how of what it needs to be hooked up and the geometry wise, and it just kind of, you mirror everything that.
But did you have to make some stuff? I feel like you could be the guy who could fab it if you needed it. Did you have to fabricate some different things to make that happen, or it's just you literally just flipped everything and a few little knuckles, a few little pivot points and Heim joints and everything else? Next thing you know, you've got a right-hand drive vehicle. How's shifting with your left hand?
Well, it's an automatic. It used to be a 3 on the tree, and I just left the clutch pedal in there just for an extra added people staring at it. But no, all the steering stuff is all factory 64 truck. What came on the truck, the dashboard is all factory. I just cut the surrounds out and switched them because they're not the same dimensions. The only thing that's not factory out of it is the 63 Corvette steering box, and then the double D knuckles for the steering. Other than that, everything else is completely factory.
You got some bead locks or bead looks. What was your thought there?
Going along with the off-road scene, and everybody saying Brodini this and Bro Ham and Bro Dozer and all that stuff. I wanted to keep with some sort of off-road theme, And I just thought the bead locks would be different because I don't, nobody really sees any bead lock wheels on lower trucks. So I had the bead lock rings cut out on a plas table, and I just welded them on because so far I've lost 2 down the freeway, so now they're welded on and I won't lose one. So
Yeah, so he's got just a bead look. He's got it tacked on. Have fun with that thing, bro. You might not be playing baseball this year. Hey, go for it. Take it for a spin. So, he stole my skateboard. So he's got the bead look. It looks cool because he's got it on 15 Steelies. And then, so let's go up here. You got the big block look going. Big block. It looks like dude, I love this. So it's like a serpentine system. What front drive are you doing? Did you create that? Did you build that? You don't see that very often. Yeah. And the motor is pushed back.
Yeah, the motor, like I said, the first time I built it, I had a small block Chevy in it with the 700. And the drive line, I actually shortened myself. And then if anybody else has done this before, they know if you want to balance the drive line, throw a golf ball in it. And it actually finds the dead spot in the drive line. I know it sounds weird. Everybody thinks I'm stupid or weird for doing that. But there was an old guy from, I guess, the 40s that has always done it. And it doesn't vibrate, doesn't shake, doesn't do anything. So if you want to save some money, like I did, not go get a $100 drive line made, just throw a golf ball in it. But the reason why the motor is moved back is because the motor mounts on the small block and the big block are different on the block. So the whole frame is 2x4 box tube, and I went to put the big block in it with the same drive line, same transmission, same rear end, and the tail shaft and drive line were 3 inches shorter than each other. So I had to cut the motor mounts instead of getting a drive line made, cut the motor mounts and moved it back when it was just the chassis. And then I go to put the cab on it and realize that it's 3 inches farther forward than it should be. And I just said, screw it. Instead of actually getting another driveline made, I just cut the firewall, built the tunnel. So, a lot of people think it's backwards. But, to me, it was just one of those things where I didn't want to do it again. I wanted to do it, once, and I should have done it right the first time. But, it's all part of learning and part of doing it yourself and, just having fun and doing extra fabrication. But the belt drive system, it's actually the company is Gilmore belt drive systems, and they've got them for Chevys, Fords, Dodges. Whatever you want to put it on, hot rod, classic, truck, whatever it is. It's mainly just a 3-piece pulley setup for the crank, water pump, and alternator. But they do sell a rear crank pulley for power steering, V-belts, all that other stuff for, the extra drives. But this one doesn't need it, so I just didn't go with the V-belt.
So I see that, like you said, your steering's off a Corvette. Yep. I'm kind of looking here how it's powered. So it's not a power steering. You're running just a manual mechanical. What's going on with your water pump and the circulation here? What's the setup here?
It's just the factory big block water pump from O'Reilly's, and it's just pumping all the water back to the radiator.
Okay, so where is the radiator then?
Back of the truck.
And why not put it here?
Just for heat. Just to, another thing to go along with the off-road kind of idea that, the concept of the radiator and the fans and everything on the Baja trucks and desert trucks are all in the back, just for, the extra cooling and protection.
So I haven't been around in the back, but it's cool because you can see everything. It's wide open in the front. I'll take a pic. It's really well done in a rat rod style right-hand drive, four-wheel drive setup. So a lot of different things that you've done. What's the significance of the German plate?
Just everybody that walks up to it can see it with the hood up, because a lot of people sit here and stare at the engine, stare at the motor, and they'll look over the hood and go, oh, hey, look. So I, made a European plate that said right-hand drive C10, so that way it would kind of help, put 2 and 2 together, but people still walk up to it and don't even notice it. And they were like, oh, it's a right-hand drive C10. License plate, but not an actual truck.
And the cool thing is the, driver's side normally is, you don't see that firewall so smooth and just clean. So it is very well done. He's dumping out right underneath the C10 logo. So right behind the rear or the front wheel, he's dumping out. Now we're over here on the passenger side. It's pretty crazy to see the gauges, everything. Passenger side, but not for this truck because it is the driver's side. Working our way around, tons of patina, and there it is. There's the radiator in the back. Does it stay pretty cool back there when you close the bed down?
Yeah, there's 6 gallons of water in it, a couple of antifreeze and a water wetter, so it helps. If the fans ever, go out, it definitely gets hot because it's not pulling the air through the bed. But as long as the fans work, yeah, it never goes above the C on the factory temperature gauge. So
And you're running just manual switches, or what kind of setup do you have for your air?
Yeah, they're just I've got 6 two-way toggle switches and the heater controls on the dash, so that way I don't have a control panel or anything. So it gives it that factory aesthetic look. And then just basically 8 half-inch brass valves off of Amazon. Just there again, budget in mind, and can't afford the $500 valve bodies. So I just made it simple, and if one ever goes out, I could just take the top off, put it on, switch it, and get home. So it's all about budget and being able to afford replacement parts if anything happens, and still just drivability.
Well, the drivability is key with this setup, because if you have any problem, you can carry a few extra parts with you, and next thing you know, you're up and running again. I think I just kind of saw it. Probably one of the coolest things of this thing is your antenna. Was that always there?
Well, the original part that's in the cab used to be a CB antenna. I don't know what it was used for up in Oregon, but it was originally a Hawthorne, California truck, and then went to Oregon, and I don't know if it was used in a construction or a logging company, but they had a CB antenna on it, and it just had the little nub sticking up. So I took a 3/8 nut, welded a piece of 1/4-inch hot roll to it, and then the little ball on the end of it is a ball bearing out of a 63, I believe, axle bearing. And I just welded that to the end of it and bent it back. Heat shrunk a little spring on it, so it looked like it was it's a typical CB antenna, but kind of gives that little Marvin the Martian look, go fast look, just to plug the top of the antenna in the cab.
It does more than Marvin the Martian. It looks just like that. It looks like a cartoon antenna. He's got it kicked back at whatever, not quite 90, but it's kicked back quite a bit, and it definitely adds to it. It's all the little subtle details. Is there anything that you'd like to do to the truck, or are you completely done with it?
The only thing that I really want to do left is the interior. Just get a nice bench seat with the distressed saddle brown leather, and then just do some inserts with the blanket I have on the seat, do a nice carpet, and then that's pretty much where I'm going to leave the truck.
Do you drive it a lot?
Yeah, I drive back and forth quite a bit. A lot of car shows, in Southern California and swap meets and stuff like that. So it's definitely a driver. I mean, the frame is 1/4-inch 2x4 box tube, and I've literally ground the back of it just dragging it down the freeway so much. It's a thin layer, and you can actually see all the way around 3 edges of the frame rail where it's just been ground through. So I gotta plate that eventually, but right now it's still throwing sparks just fine.
Just having fun. Do you have a name for this thing?
Not yet. I mean, I've kind of thrown it out there a couple of times when I first started building it. If anybody wants to name it, I thought about Betty White, because it's got that age and it's still kicking. And then there's been some other people that want to call it like the White Whale, or Rustini is another name just because it's rusty and to go along with the Instagram name. But I mean, if anybody's got some good names out there, throw them my way, and if I'll throw a dart at all the names, and whichever one sticks that's what the name will be.
Well, the right-hand drive probably comes into it too, because that's definitely something that's significant. A lot of character going on with this. We appreciate it. You guys can check it out. Brodini2828. Sean, thanks for your time. Thanks for coming out to the Get Down.
Thanks, man. Hopefully I'll see you here again next year with another project.
You coming back tomorrow?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be here.
This is your first one, you said?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm coming back, every year. I've seen it. I've, obviously Instagram, big followers of Dino and everybody else that's out here. So finally actually be out here with something that's, part of the scene, it feels pretty good. But the next project next year, you're going to have to see that one. It's pretty good.
Give us a teaser.
Let's just say it's a 64 Suburban, and it's going to have 5 racing seats, 5 harnesses, and a handbrake. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and he comes from a 4-wheel drive background. He likes fast. He likes rad stuff. You guys, again, check him out, Brodini2828. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, guys, Las Cruces, New Mexico. Bruce and Blake, father and a son, came out, and, I'm just wheeling around on my skateboard. This one caught me. It's got that Catalina blue style color, 73, 74, square body. Wait for it, C30. So obviously 8 lug, but he ain't running no 8 lug no more. And beautiful flatbed patina. He's got it cleared over. Bruce, what is the story with this truck? And thanks for coming on C10 Talk.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, this old truck had hauled firewood all of its life, I guess, around New Mexico. Did some trading for it. Kind of fell in love with the original patina. Pulled a little small block out of her, put a big block in it. She's on bags, got a 3P air system in it. rolling on some 22 cut semis. Just a neat, unique old truck, just super cool. So we like it.
Do you think, Bruce, I'm going to guesstimate, you're definitely over 50, okay? Do you think you'd ever be driving around in an old square body flatbed on freaking 22s on the ground with big stacks coming out of it?
No way, never, but I'm sure glad I made it. Yeah, it's super cool. Cool to be here.
What kind of motivated that? I mean, you picked up the old wood C30 and you fell in love with the patina. You had this big flatbed. What kind of pushed you that way? Because I'm thinking you got to be thinking I could go 10 different ways with this truck. I like the way you went with it, and it looks like you did some fabrication. I'm seeing all kinds of different things, some different mods. It was a lot of work, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a lot of suspension work, like everybody knows, especially to get a C30 on the ground. It takes some work. And we built a handful of different things, and I like different stuff. I like the patina, just different, just something a little different.
So I got Blake here, the young man, his son. Did you kind of push him maybe a little bit, or how did it get this way?
Yes, sir, for sure. I definitely, every time we'd take this truck to go eat, we'd be like, hey, man, we need to bag it. We need to make it cool. We need to set it on the ground, and he's like, man, yeah, we should do it. And we were like, okay, let's get it done. And just got it in the shop, pulled it apart, and made it happen.
What was the hardest part, Bruce?
Just the fab work and stuff. Nothing hard, just time, kind of figuring out which direction you wanted to go, and just making it happen, I've had the truck about 3 years. We just finished it up actually about 2 months ago just to bring it. So just putting it together, nothing super hard, just making it happen. So
you did a great job on the interior. You've got we're going to walk over here to the truck. He's got bench seat, got some nice plaid. He's got an airlift controller. Dash has been redone. He's got carpet kit in there and door panels, everything. Real clean truck. It's the recipe that really wins when you've got old patina and you put a nice interior, because hell, you're going to be sitting in it anyways. You might as well make it nice. It's a good blend. Anything specific on the interior? Really well done. Less is more, but period correct.
Yeah, just kind of did the plaid seat, headliner. The old truck doesn't even have a dome light. She's just a plain Jane old worker, and we did all the plaid, just all aftermarket panels, dash, everything in it's new, carpet's all new. Just cleaned it up in there, So, like I say, nothing super fancy, but nice and clean. Nice, clean.
Something that's cool is at one point you could see that this had probably the dealer sticker on there. I'm assuming what did it say at one time?
It came from King Chevrolet in Tyler, Texas. It's just barely still under the patina. It's got a little crown there. And then on the driver's visor, you flip it down, and I guess a machine shop had bought it. First round, new, because it's got a sticker from a machine shop in it. Has all the owner's manual, everything still in the glove box. Makes it kind of cool, just a little neater. So I think she worked pretty hard all of her life, so now she just gets to smile and be pretty.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the reaction's probably pretty cool, because it definitely caught my attention. And when you're at a truck show with 1,500 trucks minimum, it's sometimes can be a little daunting to find a truck that really grabs my attention, and this did. It's obviously a square with lots of patina, lots of character. I love the mirrors. Were the mirrors part of it, or did you find the mirrors?
No, sir, they came on it. They're all original. The West Coast mirrors, the big mirrors, like I say, all the patina's original, the badges, all the glass is still original. Actually, the grill, all the front trims, all original. We didn't change the front ugly old white bumper. Thought that was kind of cool.
That is not an ugly bumper. If you say that again, we might fight. And you're a big son of a bitch, Bruce. But that white bumper has earned every bit of her life. That is a beautiful bumper, a white bumper. And even though you went full polish on your wheels, you balanced it, you did clear your patina, but that white bumper, boy, that's sacrilegious if you took that thing off there. I'm assuming you had to get new cab lights because they look pretty good.
Yeah, cab lights, like I say, it hauled firewood all of its life pretty much, and I think a couple of them missed the bed, and they were a little busted. So, yeah, we had to freshen up with some new cab lights, so give her a little twinkle up there. So, pretty neat, pretty cool.
What's the reaction been this week? You came out, you said, you know, hey, we busted our ass, we got it done, we came out to the get down. I'm glad you did. What's the reaction been?
It's crazy, not just because it's my truck, but there again being different, how many pictures and questions people ask about it. And it's just because I think it is different, you know, it's just not something you see, but it's gotten a lot of attention, a lot. Pretty neat.
Well, those saddle tanks, is there one on the other side too? Because you got a big old saddle tank. It's rusty and crusty, and it fits this truck so good. And they've got a filler on the side of this big old fleet, you know, big thick gauge metal. And then down below it, it's got a fleet tank, and it even matches the sticker. So very well done, I'm assuming. And is there one on the other side? I didn't even take a look.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's one on the other side. And actually, they both work. But whenever we two-linked it, I actually dummied this tank up over the original fuel tank so that we could keep that look, you know. So, but they were both working tanks, and there is one on the other side.
So you did say that it had a 502. Did you take the motor out of it and put the 502 in it that was originally in it?
Yes, yeah, it had a little small block 350 that was super tired, leaked more oil than it needed to. So, yeah, we kind of spiffed that up a little bit, and it's all black under the hood. Real nice, no wires, real clean.
Let's pop the hood real quick, take a look. I'll tell you what, you can get rid of that tired old 350, but you better not touch that bumper. So, yeah, 502, big block, man. She's big. She looks good, clean. Now, did you buy this as a crate, full crate, so she's new to the girl?
Yeah, pretty new. It's got a little miles on it, but not much. It's new to the truck. Yeah, and then we just blacked everything out, hit all the wires, got rid of the hydro boost, just kind of cleaned her up.
Will you run AC? I see that you've got your firewall looking fresh, and it looks really good. Will you run AC or no?
If I drive it more, I'd be interested in AC. I kind of like how clean it is, so I don't know that I would do that just because of the lines and stuff, but maybe down the road we would.
Depending on how much you drive it. Blake, what's your reaction? You pushed Dad. You took an old, tired work truck. You gave it a second lease on life. I love that part of it. You know, I just love that this thing could have ended up at the wrecker. It could have ended up just, you know, whatever it would have ended up, it wouldn't have ended up being like this life. And this damn truck's like, I worked my ass off my whole life. And now I'm in Las Cruces, and I got people all over the truck show checking me out. Original grill, original front bumper, original paint. What's your reaction and your thoughts, Blake, when you're like, I get to ride in one of the coolest trucks out here?
Right, man. Yeah, it's just cool. It's cool to just see people, you know, like, man, you turn the corner, like, man, that's badass. You know, it's just like really cool to be a part of that and kind of just, you know, say that, yeah, I did that, you know, kind of like I helped my dad, you know, and just a lot of fun with it.
How about driving it? Does he let you drive it?
A little bit around, you know, but not in the show for sure. I'm the air guy. I get to control the air, so.
You're there. Okay, son, hit the switches. What you might have said, I couldn't remember, what tranny?
Turbo 400. Yep, just the original, the style that came in the old girl, so just left it.
Well, we answered the question about driving it a lot in the AC, because I've had that Turbo 400, and it's not quite as fun when you got that fourth gear. All in all, you guys, again, the mirrors sucked me in, the patina, everything about it is a really cool truck. I really like it. I can appreciate it. I love these trucks right now, because when you leave, you put your marker lights on, and the old girl just runs out. She's looking good, and it's just something to have all those running lights and not those headlights. Looks really good. Do you have a name for this old girl?
We call her Flats, F-L-A-T-Z. Yeah, just pretty simple.
Just going off of a flatbed?
Yeah, just because she's got a flatbed, yeah.
All right, she's a flatty. She might need a transplant, but they ain't going to give it to her anytime soon. So she's flat as they come, and they got her laid flat out, if you will. So, Bruce, Blake, how do we find you guys on social media?
You can always find me at Meyerworks on Instagram, so just hit me up there.
I assume that your last name? And how do you spell that?
M-E-Y-E-R.
M-Y-E-M-E-Y-E-R. Meyer Works. And Dad, do you have one, or you just go off of him?
Just go off me. Yep.
You got pictures of flats?
Yes, sir. All the way.
Okay, so we'll check it out. I'll come back tomorrow. My phone died. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll get some pictures. Are you guys coming back tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll be here. Yes, sir. We'll be here.
I'll come find you, because I definitely the pod isn't going to do justice without me matching it up with some pictures. Obviously, I can harvest them from you guys. But Meyer Works, Blake, Bruce, thanks for your time. Thanks for coming out. Is this your first get down?
We were here last year, but I didn't bring flats. But we came and enjoyed and said we got to come next year with something. So it's second year.
I'm glad that it motivated you guys to do it. What do you think about the show?
It's really awesome. I mean, every year that we've seen on the internet, and then last year, I mean, every year is just much better, much better, much better. You know, just like.
Would you build something else, or are you going to just run this girl for a while?
I got 2 more in the works and 2 for 2 customers I'm working on. So it's never ending. Yep.
Give us a hint. What's the other 2? What year?
Gonna do one called the Grinch. It's a 76. We're gonna build a frame for it, LS it. It's gonna be on the ground. Something to pull behind flats. Doing a 67 LS swap bag for a guy in Texas. Gonna build Blake a little short bed, maybe a 73, 74. So like all the rest of you guys out there that can listen, it never stops. It just goes and goes. So got to keep it rolling.
It's like a Lay's potato chip. You can't just eat one. You got to have more than that, I'll tell you. One thing you said was you were going to tow it behind flats. Have you ever, would a truck fit on the bed of this? It looks like it wouldn't. It'd be just a little too short. What can you fit on there?
It's 11 foot, so you could do a side-by-side or something. But, yeah, we'd probably just throw a car trailer behind it and make it look cool. Be a cool picture, towing something.
It's really cool. So thank you guys so much for taking time to talk to me about the truck, the build, the process, and thanks for coming out from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Yes, sir, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Blake.
Thank you, guys. It's been a blast here.
Hey, guys, I have Andrew from Painless on. Andrew, our guys are thinking about rewiring their truck. Why should they choose Painless Performance?
Well, Ronnie, we've been doing it 30 years now. We're American made, American proud. We have unmatched tech support. You'll get one of our guys right here in Fort Worth, Texas, if you have a call. And, our installation manual is full color and covers everything you need to know.
You guys offer a ton of different varieties. Break that down a little bit for us.
Yeah, so we cover everything from 63 to 87, specific C10 harnesses. It'll be, a little more plug and play for kind of a stock or lightly modified truck. But then for those real radical, smooth firewall, air ride, crazy builds, we have the Pro Series. It'll have all the connectors, terminals, everything you need, but you can custom fit it, hide the wiring, and build it to your build.
There you go, guys. You get rid of that 40-plus-year-old wiring. You get easy-to-read printed wiring. Painlessperformance.com. They've got you covered if you want to go OG Classic or if you want to go something customized. Thanks, Andrew. Painlessperformance.com. Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. It all started in the original owner's garage. From humble beginnings of a couple parts in a garage to a 2-building manufacturing facility making over 6,000 parts, Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They not only design the products, but also design the tooling to build the products, guaranteeing quality control. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. Aluminum strips are double polished, creating a mirror finish, and crystal clear anodized. They use the highest quality, hand-selected show quality wood that will hold up over time. Why? Because it's kiln dried to precision moisture levels specifically for Marquet. They stock oak, pine, and mini exotics, guaranteeing extremely fast delivery. All parts are manufactured in-house in Oklahoma City, USA. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bed wood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com. Sweet. I love it when I catch them on the way out. The 79 Bison that I've been Googling over all day, I guess. I've got some video of it, and Rudy was just on his way out and parked, and I'm like, man, I wonder if I can grab him real quick. I love this thing. Rudy, what's the story about this truck, man?
All right, well, I came across this truck about a week ago from the original owner who bought it in 79. This Bison here that's here at the show today, and he lost his CDL due to diabetes, so he pulled it, so he decided to retire. Called me up and said, hey, is there any chance you want to pick up this truck? I said, yeah, let me check it out. Went over to Payson, which is northern Arizona, drove it down, fell in love with it, and brought it to the show so people could see an original semi-Chevy Basin, and title, all paperwork matches, and it's a Chevy truck. Seat that, it's square body.
I've heard of these, and I don't think I've ever seen one. And you're right, it's a 79, it's a square body, it's a Bison. What motor's in this thing?
Right now we have the 350 Cummins with the 13-speed double over. So, I mean, it'll cruise 65 on the freeway, 1,600 RPM. I mean, it's a Renko suspension, so the ride's not too bad, but it's not the smoothest, but it'll get the job done. and it'll cruise around.
So how did you meet this guy?
This guy, I met him through mutual friends. I am a truck driver. I do own a trucking company called Cross the Line Trucking and a brokerage company called Cross the Line Transportation. Born and raised trucker, family of truckers. My dad was in it with Dad's Trucking Service here local in the Valley in Arizona. My brother runs his own trucking company at High Power Transport. We're just, my brother, my dad, and I, we go out there, truck independent companies, but we come together when we need to unite, to get jobs done, and just to serve the Valley with their trucking needs. Whatever they need, we move it.
What are you thinking on this thing? Is it something where you've got an existing truck company, restore it, leave it all patinaed like this, and just kind of use it as a show truck? Is it something where you're like, hey, I want to sell it and see what somebody else does with it? Because it's been getting a lot of love. There's people all around it. My son came up. He was checking it out. It's definitely something different in a land of trucks that we see a lot of, and you don't see a lot of Bisons.
Right. It's something that I wouldn't mind keeping, but if some custom fab shop got a hold of me and said, hey, Rudy, I think I could do something with that truck to make it look sweet out there and make it a big overgrown pickup truck and turn it into a straight C10, but with the Cummins and the 13-speed and just cruise it out there, rake it out, lay it low. Man, I would love to see this truck done up the right way, custom fab or original, and keep it clean, patina the way it is, and shine it up and just see it cruising down the road, because it's retiring. The truck's retiring, and so it's just going to be a cruiser.
Well, and there's a few out there that we do see that guys have them laid out, and they're like this, and this thing would look absolutely stunning laid out. For the audience right now, you'll have to check out the video, but it is stock height, and so yeah, it's high. I've seen them laid out. Tanner's got one. He's got a killer one. His is like a 40s, but this thing laid out would be spectacular.
Oh yeah, it would look great laid out, right? Yeah, like you said, it sits high. It used to run dirt, gravel, valley dumps, end dumps, so it sits high to keep up off that dirt. But yeah, this laid down on the floor with some airbags, air ride suspension, it would look really nice on the road.
How's it drive?
It drives like an old truck. Try to hold your cup of coffee and turn that steering wheel at the same time. Good luck. But it drives. I mean, it gets down the road.
So if you were going to keep it, let's just, imaginary, what do you do to this thing to get it on the ground? Is it just complete fab to the chassis like a normal C10, or have you ever seen that done? I mean, do you know like what it would take?
For me, what I would do, I would just lay it out simple. I would take out the 5-inch block in the front, throw the airbag suspension in the front, remove that Rico suspension, drop some airbags, probably the low leaf ride from a Peterbilt, like a 99 Peterbilt. Eliminate one axle, so it's just a 2-axle truck. And I even consider about maybe, if I stayed with it, getting about 3 70s pickup bed trucks, fabbing them together and making it one big pickup bed and call it good.
So it'd be kind of like a square body style truck bed that you would utilize, and you'd keep it a single rear instead of a dual. I think he's played it out a few times in his mind. I dig it, Rudy. It's a cool color. It's a cool truck. We're glad you brought it out. Thanks for bringing it out. What has the response been when you were around? I came by a few times, didn't get a chance to run into you. Were you by the truck at all when people came by and checked it out?
I was back and forth on the truck when I first pulled in. I got told, you can't bring that in here. That's not a C10. This is a C10 Chevy truck only. I said, I got the paperwork to prove it. He said, oh, park it right there. He goes, I can't believe that's a Chevy. It's a Chevy. And, I got a lot of people that, when they said, hey, who's big semi? Who brought a big, ugly semi? I said, that's a Chevy. And when I told them that's a Chevy truck, it wasn't ugly semi no more. It's like, it's a what? It's a Chevy truck. And their minds were blown. They came and looked at it. If you happen to get the inside of the dash, it's a C10 Chevy dash, just like if you would have in a 70s C10 truck. The passenger side's original. The interior is original. I mean, this truck, it's all original. If you look at it, you're looking at a Chevy. It's just in a bigger version.
Yeah, it is super cool. I'm glad you brought it again. You just don't see them that often. Have you seen many Bisons?
When they told me about this one and they told me what I was going to be picking up, I didn't believe them, because my buddies know I'm into square bodies. So I was like, no way. So I looked it up, and when I hit Google up on a Chevy Bison semi truck, this is the first truck that popped up. That's how historic to me this is. That this truck actually popped up in the first picture. So if you look up C10 Chevy Bison or Chevy Bison, you're gonna see this truck with a valley dump right behind it, and that's just how old it is. It made Google.
Yeah, and I don't think they made that many of them for sure, so I'll have to look it up myself. What does a truck like this cost? So somebody out there in C10ville, the C10 Nation, if you want a big old 79 Bison with rad patina, cool door lettering, what's a truck like this run?
You know, you call me up, hit me up on Instagram. I'll let it go for 17,000, and I just want to see what you're gonna do with it as you proceed. Just get some pictures here and there, and then keep in touch with the buyer, just so I can seeing what's being done to it. If that's how, if you guys are interested in buying it out there, I'll take a 17,000, and we'll call it good. I'll hand you the title, and I'll just watch you guys work on it.
If you want a cool 79 big boy truck, a big Bison with a 350 Cummins, Rudy's your guy. Remind us again one more time your Instagram.
Cross the Line Trucking.
Cross the Line Trucking. Any underscores or anything, or all one word?
Let me get my phone and check.
He's going to check, and I'm telling you guys, this thing's super cool. It's legit. There it is right there. So it's cross_the_line_trucking. Cross the Line Trucking. Lots of underscores in there. Cross_the_line_trucking. Rudy, thanks for stopping. Thanks for taking time for the C10 Nation.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Have a good time out there for the rest of the weekend on the show, and we'll see you guys next year.
Saturday morning, what a beautiful day out here. Second day, hanging out. And I've got Tony. The thing about Tony's truck is I was cruising around yesterday, and I saw this truck, and it's got a story, and it's got character. And then I didn't even realize I ran into Tony later, and we were talking, and I'm like, you don't have that beat up, rusty old Okra 72 Shorty, do you? And he said, yep, that's my girl. So Tony, welcome to C10 Talk. Thanks for taking time out of your day. Tell us about this truck and really just how you found it and how you came to own this thing.
All right, so I was at a friend's house at a barbecue, and the truck is his neighbor's. Original owner, Oceanside, bought it from the Carlsbad Chevy dealer in 72. Drove it across country thousands of times. I started talking to him. He had a for sale sign in it, and it's never been for sale. I just got some money from an accident, and I asked him how much. We made a deal and bought it that night. And just been piecing it together and playing around with it ever since.
Okay, so it's kind of meant to be, because we have a mutual friend named Tremaine. Tremaine's Truck Parts. If you guys out there don't know about Tremaine, and he's kind of one of your West Coast go-to guys, especially for 67 to 72. Check him out online. Little plug for Tremaine. Tremaine was chasing this thing for a while, is what I heard.
He was chasing it for a while, and I didn't know that, and I didn't know him at the time. I started to look for parts for it, contacted Tremaine. We started talking, and I said, oh, let me show you a picture of my truck. I show him a picture of it, and he goes, you got to be, and it was the same truck he'd been chasing. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Well, now we need to kind of describe this truck. So he's got a sign on it that says beach find, not barn find. If you guys are West Coast, East Coast, wherever, if you park something by the water and trucks and metal really aren't friends. So this truck, it looks like it's barely held together. I'm sure it's probably a little bit more sturdy than it appears. But yeah, there is definitely some cancer. This is a cancer survivor that just keeps on going. Were you drawn into it because of that, or what do you think?
Not necessarily. I know it's a short bed, original owner. I like that style body. I like the short bed.
But do you like the character? Because there's lots of, short bed 71, 72s out there. I don't know if it was necessarily in your price range, but this is a character truck. This is a truck that has a rich, deep story. For the audience, it was parked, I'll do a video, of course, but it was parked by the ocean, in the beach. It's got the A-posts. The whole cab's got it's just got a lot of cancer, and even in interior, but it's all held together, and it just has a story. Because it is Okra, it works too, because the rusty kind of color. It looks like it had a white bumper, and the white bumper, there's really not a lot of white left in it. When you walk around, you're looking at the cab, the doors themselves, the B-post behind on the passenger side, I can see through all the way. Again, I will do a video, but a lot of character in this thing. Tony, it's just, what do people think when they see it?
A little bit of both. Some people think I'm a little nuts for driving it and fixing it up, and other people love it because of the character it has. It's just fun. I have a good time with it. I can drive it and not worry about it. People run away from me because I park too close to them at a car show. It's fun. I have a good time.
I think you must, because you obviously made these signs. One sign says beach find, not barn find. One sign says caution, do not touch without a tetanus shot. Did you drive it all the way out here?
Me, Tremaine, and about 7 other guys all drove out here from the coast, from California. 5-hour drive.
And it cruises just fine.
Yeah. 80. Was keeping up with those guys, 80, 85. Trying to catch up with them a couple times even. Only had one little small hiccup, which was no big deal. And drivability, I built it to drive. Newer motor, newer drivetrain, but it's a small block Chevy.
What motor was in it originally? Did you have a 350 in there?
Now I've got basically a ZZ4 crate motor and a turbo 350 with a shift kit, and just redid the rear end, made it a posi, and other than that, it's pretty much stock.
And what tranny did you say?
Turbo 350.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite part of the truck?
The overall look.
Just the story, the look, the vibe that it throws off?
It's just, I don't know, it's just cool. You don't want to mess with it because it'll change the whole look of it.
Exactly. I like it. You're leaving it alone. You're kind of accenting what you got. Do you have a name for this truck?
It got nicknamed by a friend of mine, and it's stuck, Rusty. And Project Rusty is what it's called.
Is there anything left you want to do to it?
I'm going to finish the interior. I got the door panels. I just didn't have time to put them on before the show this weekend. And I got a center console, and I got buckets to put in it. It's just a matter of money. But soon.
Yeah, money, time, a little bit of everything. Is it one of those things where you'll keep it for a long time, or you kind of build it, drive it, run it, and then sell it, or what do you think?
Keep it. I've got a 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive I've kept for 20 years, so I'm sure I'll keep this one for 20 plus years too.
Okay. Cool, Tony. Thank you so much. Where can we find you? Do you have social media, Instagram, or anything?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's TW7172 Trucks.
TW7172 Trucks. Any underscores?
No.
Okay, well, check you out, Tony. Thanks for showing us Rusty. I'm going to do a quick walk around. I love your ride, love the character, and love what you did with the truck.
Thank you.
Get Down 2020, and we've got the other and or the real James Harden. So I tell you what, man, Brownstone, I might need to play that in the background a little bit on this one, but James, first and foremost, thanks for taking your time on Saturday. I think it's super cool that you brought the truck out to the Get Down. It's in Delmo's booth. Delmo built this truck probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Phoenix guy, Plumbing 2.0 was the original customer. James Harden got a hold of it, and the bottom line, and I feel like, first of all, you're a stand-up dude, not only just for, just really for posting it and saying, hey, man, this is what happened. And I think some people were probably worried about, like, if I was in this situation, and I actually was kind of even thinking, do I post this yet? I want to really check with James and make sure. But where I'm going with that is that you and everybody was fine. We're glad that you're all right.
Yeah, everybody's great. Like I say, just made a mistake, slipped. I got it tuned that morning, getting it ready for the Get Down. Got out there, just going down the road straight, went to pass somebody, downshifted, threw me sideways, and then threw me into oncoming traffic. Happened in a second. Nobody hurt. That's the only thing I really care about. It's just a truck. Biggest lesson is insure your shit. My insurance company, they wouldn't do stated, and after a half hour on the phone with them, I just said throw liability on it. Monday morning, I'll go to Haggerty. Sunday afternoon, it did this. So, like I said, I'm not sure 100% what I'm going to do with it right now. I've tossed around the idea of selling it. Everything looks straight under there. A couple little bent things. I can drive it down the road. All the air works. Everything functions still. It's got a lot of money in parts. Or me and Dell get together and figure out how to make it good again. So that's the big question right now.
Yeah, Brownstone 2.0, really, if you think about it. It definitely does probably look worse than it is standing here looking at it. I was really surprised, but again, I thought it was rad when you're like, hey, this bitch will drive. I'm taking it to the Get Down. You did it. You brought it out here. It's been a crowd favorite, obviously, because you were okay and everybody. And when we look at the cab, I mean, really the cab, you could see where, as a firefighter, I've been on, calls and cars and accidents where that people were hurt. Really the way that this all went down, the cab is in great shape. The wheels are in great shape. So, yeah, you've got nothing is broke. No glass is shattered. Not even a crack in the windshield. So that kind of tells you, man, if it was a crumple zone, vehicle, it almost appears that way. So I did it right. You did it right. And I remember on your Instagram, you did have it posted up like, hey, it's at the tuner. I'm getting ready for the get down. And you think you just did it drop down into a different gear, and you just kind of punched it? And was it wet? It looked a little wet.
It just started raining. My son and I went and grabbed some lunch. We taking it out on the road, and I'm like, it's too wet. We're not really going to do anything, right? So two lanes going each direction, and I went to go around somebody, and as I went to the left lane, I gave it gas. It downshifted way harder than I expected. Broke it loose to the left. I overcorrected, shot us across the median, and all this happened in oncoming traffic. So head on to one vehicle, totaled that one, and then that spun us around, and the rear corner took out the other vehicle. So first thing we did, my son jumped out, went over and checked one car. I checked the other car. 30, 40 minutes later, he rolls up his sleeve, and that's when he's like, I think my arm's broken. I'm like, damn. But it turned out didn't. So it was great. Like I said, nobody hurt. Everybody's fine. He went to the hospital. The people that went over there to get checked out, they were all fine. So bottom line, it's just some metal, man. And even though the outside's bent all the hell, it still drives straight down the road, and it does pretty good burnout still. So.
Did you actually drive it all the way here, or you trailered it, right? You loaded it up and trailered it?
Yeah, Prescott's a little too far. I don't want to make that trip, but we trailered it to the Loft Hotel over there, and then my son actually jumped in, drove it over here. So it goes straight.
Yeah, and I think it was before we went on the mic, but for the audience, you've seen the Gas Monkey truck, the green and white square. That guy bought it on YouTube, and he's rebuilt the whole thing. Did you say he did reach out to you?
Yeah, he DM'd me the other day. Like I said, I'm not really sure if Dell and I are going to get together and do something, so I told him, make me a stupid offer, and we'll see what happens. But haven't heard back from him. It's all
you got a lot of parts. You got the motor. What motor's in this again?
It's got a 430 horse LS3. Tranny's brand new, built. It's got all Dakota Digital. It's got vintage air. It's got a JL system in it. It's all got Porterbuilt front and rear in it. And I called, actually I texted Nate. He texted me first of all and said, hey man, is everybody all right? I saw everything. And I texted him back and said, hey, everything held together great, man. Still goes down the road. So kudos to your parts, brother. So
yeah, testament to Porterbuilt and grade 8 hardware. And like you said, you're good, and at the end of the day, the family's good, and you learned a lesson, right? So for you guys out there, ensure your shit.
Absolutely. Couple things I learned, too. I've never been in a wreck with anything I've built. I got to say, to Porterbuilt, too, this is what I have in my K5 that Trey 5's building for me right now. It's all got brand new. Nate built it just for my Blazer. So I'm real confident about it going down the road, too. So, this kind of thing, it sucks, but it also lets you know these trucks are built badass. Like, it's not like people are just throwing things together and, torching things to lower them. The geometry of this thing and the way it functions and the fact that it's still going straight, just amazing. It's amazing engineering that goes into these. And some people don't really even think about that until this happens, because first thing I thought is control arms would be broke, rear links would be snapped. The fact that this looks like this and goes straight is ridiculous and amazing. So.
And I think that almost, like you said, it is a testament to these chassis companies. Obviously, Nate, it's running Porterbuilt, but I think that almost would make me consider keeping it and rebuilding it more so, because now that you've thought about it, you're like, hey, the chassis is good, the drivetrain's good, I just got to find some metal. And really, at the end of the day, you can find metal.
I can find metal. Even though you come out here to the get down and it doesn't look like there's very many squares left, they're all here. So still think I can find one. So if we can make this work, I think me and Dell will get together, see what the best scenario is, and just make it happen, man.
Okay, cool. James, thank you again for your time. Brownstone, RIP. Maybe we see a 2.0. Maybe we'll see what happens, and we'll see what the journey. We'll follow it along closely. Again, we're glad you're okay. We're glad that it worked out from that perspective. Happy, healthy family. And again, kudos for you to really just acknowledge that and say, hey, we fucked up, and this is what happened, and we're here, and we're going to learn from it, and hopefully the audience and the community can learn from that lesson. And she's here, but you're here with her.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it, and hope everybody's having a good time.
Thanks, James.
So you bought a C10, and it either had AC at one time or it wasn't even an option. Well, Vintage Air has the solution for you. Their SureFit kits are designed to place the evaporator and hoses behind the dash for a factory clean look. In most cases, the SureFit systems will be controlled by your stock dash controls using their exclusive cable converters. In some applications, a new factory look control panel is included with the kit. The SureFit systems provide full OEM-style operations, including air conditioning, floor or vent heating, and a powerful defroster. To retain a true factory look, the AC air exits through the factory dash louvers, if originally equipped in your truck. The Gen 4 kit provides infinite, just right temperature, air blending, and blower fan speed adjustments. The Vintage Air SureFit kits are the best value and the most completely engineered air conditioning system you can install in your C10. Add the fact that Vintage Air has been the most respected name in performance aftermarket climate control systems for 40 years. 40 years? Damn, son. The choice is obvious. VintageAir.com.
I've got Kathy White, Classic Performance Products, CPP on the line. Kathy, how's it going?
Hey, Ronnie, what's up?
What's up? What's new?
We've got a ton of things for the C10 community. First things first, our 2.5-inch Extreme X10 drop spindle. So we've upgraded the current modular spindle to modern technology. This new X10 spindle is a one-piece forged, but it utilizes strong, modern, bolt-in, internally sealed bearing hub assembly. So it's low maintenance. It doesn't move the wheels out, and you can use big brakes from us or any aftermarket big brakes out there in the market.
That's awesome. What else is new?
So we have actually gone back and redesigned our aluminum fuel tanks. As you know, our fuel tanks are the thickest, strongest, and largest capacity in the industry. But now you can actually use the same tank for either a carbureted or a fuel injection application. 63 to 72, it's 20 gallons. And for 73 and newer, 22-gallon capacity.
How about that coilover kit? You guys must be killing it with that thing.
That is such a great kit. It's fully bolt-on. It's easy to install. Strongest tubular arms in the market, available with either upper and lower or just the lowers or just a coilover kit by themselves. All the mounting brackets that you need, and it also comes with dual adjustable coilover shocks. So it's really responsive. It's up to you however you want to tune the compression or the rebound. It's perfect if you're just cruising on the streets, and it's proven on the track.
Well, that's what we like. So if you need spindles, the new X10, fuel tanks, coilovers, they've got it. Classic Performance Products, CPP. And don't forget, use code C10TALK, C10TALK at checkout and save 10%. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Hey guys, Saturday hanging out, and kind of a special treat, something that's a little different than most, not a truck-related interview, but we've got Blake from Sweet Patina. You guys came out. I know I talked to JD. You guys did the road trip out. You had a big group of people, and first time I met Blake, a few years back, I got that Sweet Patina shirt, the windmill. I can picture it right in my head, just because it's different. It's not a truck shirt. You've got the car, but you're doing it for a cause, and that's the key. Is in the world that we live in right now, in the midst of the virus and the pandemic and people getting along, not getting along in the whole world, there's always something else that's going on, and every day people are dealing with different battles, and some are mental, some are physical, and we just got to kind of look at that big picture, live every moment, to the fullest. So Blake, thanks for taking your time to be on C10 Talk, and I just kind of want to share your story and what you're doing with your car and the cause that you're involved with. So thank you, Blake, for taking time to be on C10 Talk.
Thanks for stopping by, Ronnie. So my name's Blake from Sweet Patina, And basically what we did is I took my job, which is physical therapy, and I combined it with our hobby, which is, the old cars and the old trucks. We have a C10, but the Sweet Patina wagon is really popular. People have really, it kind of draws people in with the rooftop tent, the patina paint, or the patina on it. So with my full-time job being in physical therapy, I got really attached to one of my home health patients. His name's Bernard Rudler, and he was battling ALS. And me and my dad, we do a lot of road trips already, and we love going to all the car shows and everything. And we just wanted to do something that was for something bigger than just us. We wanted to use the car as a platform. And so basically what I did is I came up with this idea to try to do a 48-state drive in our Sweet Patina car to raise awareness for ALS. So I went and talked with the ALS Association because I wanted it to be pretty big. I told them how gracious and how generous the car community can be and the truck community. And so what we did is we set up sweetpatina.com, where you can go and you can click on any state's chapter in the country and you can donate money straight to ALS. We don't get any of the proceeds. Everything goes directly to ALS whenever you go to donate from the website. So on our travels, the car draws people in. So there may be, we may be in Maine, or we may be in Indiana, or we may be in Arizona, and people come up and they want to talk about the car. And that's when we tell them, we're doing a 48-state drive in this car to raise awareness and to raise money for ALS. And it's really sad when you get out on the road and you meet these random people at a gas station, and you can almost see the sadness in their eyes whenever they say, I lost a dad, or I lost an uncle, or my brother has that right now. Like, it really is something that we all need to come together on and help find a cure. Everybody's so freaked out about COVID, and we know it's, it is an illness, and there is a huge survival rate. But if you get the diagnosis of ALS, like, you're done. Like, it's fatal. There's no cure for this thing. And so that's what really stuck with me. And I remember my ALS patient one day, I told him, I asked him, Mr. Bernard, I said, how do you feel today? And he said, I feel like somebody is filling up I feel like somebody's like putting concrete around me and I can't get out. And that stuck with me. And every time I'm in my car and we're doing these long drives and you get kind of quirky and you want to get out of the car, I keep thinking about that. They don't have a choice to, move around in their wheelchair. I mean, they have to have somebody put the water cup to their mouth just to take a sip of water, scratch their nose. I mean, the simplest little things are so hard for them. And my buddy, Mr. Bernard, he did pass away earlier this year. And, he was always such a motivator for me to just keep going and keep going. So that's what Sweet Patina is. So if you purchase anything from sweetpatina.com, if you see us at a car show and you come buy a hat or a shirt, everything that we sell, we donate a portion of those proceeds back to ALS. And when you see the car out and about, just remember that these cars, they're more than just a car. This is something that we're trying to do to make a difference in the community. So everybody that's bought something, thank you so much. We have raised over $25,000 so far. And like I said, when you donate to ALS from our website, you will get a receipt from the ALS Association. That does not come to me or Sweet Patina. So just make sure that, when you're wearing your hats and everybody asks you about it, bring up ALS. Even if you don't know what ALS is, that's fine. Tell them to go to sweetpatina.com. There's me on there talking about some stuff, and there's some other links for people to learn about it too. So that's what we're doing, and we're at 42 states. Coming to Dinos put us at number 42. We would have already hit 48, but we had COVID hit, and then we were going to go back to California again to do Death Valley. But there was all the fires and everything, and we didn't want to get out and put anybody in danger. So thanks, Dino, for putting on this show, and thank you for Ronnie for coming by the car to talk to us.
So 42 states. What did Mr. Bernard think about, if I get that right, but what did your patient think about that when you told him, hey, we're going to take this car all around, and was he excited about that? What was his thoughts?
Yeah, so Mr. Bernard was a really positive dude, even with him battling such a horrific disease. And I would go see him 3 days a week. So every time I'd go over there, he would hold me accountable. He would want to know who I talked to, and he would want to know, did I come up with sponsor packages? Like, who are you going to do? Who are you going to go to help you make this happen? Because we know anybody that road trips these vehicles, like, yourself, like, it's a task to get these vehicles to stay up to par to run the distances that we put them through. And so it was just really fun for Mr. Bernard to to be a part of it. Every time we would take a road trip, he would want us to send him pictures, and we would FaceTime him, and you know, it just he was in really good spirits all the way up until, you know, he passed, and he was real motivating. Even a week before he passed, he FaceTimed me, and he wanted to make sure that I was going to keep doing the 48 state thing. And at the beginning of this whole thing, he was like, you can do a fundraiser for ALS, but I don't want any proceeds going to, you know, him directly. Yeah. But his family's been really supportive of us, and you know, like I said, I'm just trying to do everything I can to honor him and what great man he was. But I'm also trying to honor everybody else's loved one that has had this stuff. So, you know, y'all stay tuned. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up with the trips.
How many miles have you put on the car in the 48 state challenge so far? Because you obviously just drive the car, and some days you're driving it for, you know, Sweet Patina, the challenge, the ALS cause. And for the audience, another name that you might know is Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. The water bucket challenge was the big one about 5-6 years ago. The ice bucket challenge, that I believe catapulted some donations for ALS at the point. I think they were saying it was probably one of the biggest things. So they need a lot of money because it is not, you know, I think it has a 0% chance success rate really at this point. You're just looking at longevity. Another guy that you might put association with is the, I forget his name now, but the Saints had a special teams guy, and I don't know if he's still alive. He has really been going. I assume you might.
You know, I'm not sure. I haven't checked in on that. I think it was Steve Gleason, right? Yeah, so he's battling it. I haven't checked in on that one though. But yeah, with me doing physical therapy, you know, we get to come in contact with a lot of people that have it. Out in Dallas though, there's a young kid. He's like 17. And he has ALS. That's like the youngest one I've ever heard of. And his family, they do the T-Bones car show at Summit Racing in Arlington once a year. So if you're around that area, you know, you guys come out and support T-Bone. You know, it's a pretty good turnout there. And thanks to Summit Racing for opening their parking lot to have a fundraiser for that family.
When you go out, do you ever have like a destination that you might go see somebody with ALS and visit them on your stops?
Yeah, so actually it's funny you say that, because on this trip, a couple months back, I got a message on Facebook from one of our buddies in high school, and he was like, hey, have you heard about this guy out in Arizona named Jim Holman? He's a hot rod guy out here, so some of you guys may know him. And I said, I don't know who the guy is, but I want to reach out to him. So I reached out to the family, and on our way to Dino's, we actually came out of Flagstaff and we went to Prescott Valley and we visited with him, and he got to come outside and we looked at his hot rods in the garage and things like that. So yeah, we do make stops. There's been a lot of times where we'll plan it to where we can actually stop and visit the ALS associations that are actually receiving our donations, and they've put together some cool videos, so those are on like YouTube and on sweetpatina.com. And of course we like to go through and we like to see the hot rod shops and different things like that are going on in different parts of the country.
So again, I kind of asked you earlier, and then I probably stacked 3 more questions on top of it, about how many miles have you covered with Sweet Patina with the car in this journey?
You know, the last time we checked, we had over 11,000 miles on the car just doing ALS road trip stuff. I took the other gauges out and I was trying to ledger it in my little notepad, and I just lost track of it. But now we're running the Dakota Digital RTX gauges, and we've already put like 3,000 miles on it. And I don't know, maybe it's been 2 months they've been in there. And then we're about to road trip it back to Texas, so another 1,200 miles or so.
Do you find it hard to fit in the trips with the time and the work and the family and everything else?
So that's one thing that a lot of people ask me, how do you take off work for so much, and what about your wife and things like that. So my wife has been like my backbone for a long time. We've been together. We got married in 2007, so we got married young, and every idea that I ever come up with, she's always really supportive of that. But I was fortunate enough to start a company called Rehab Works back when I was in my early 20s, so it's 12 years old now, and so that's why I'm able to take off a lot of times. We have really good employees that hold down the fort while we're out, and we try to keep it to about 6 or 7 days out. And then my dad comes with me too, so it is a juggle trying to make sure the kids are taken care of and make sure the wife's okay with us taking the trips. But she knows my heart behind the whole thing, and we definitely that's one of the priorities is making sure we honor Mr. Bernard by keeping our word and doing the 48 state drive.
Well, finding that balance. So you've got 42 down. Are you on a West Coast swing? What's the 6 that you need?
The last 6 I need are going to be like, Nevada, Utah, Oregon, Oregon, Washington, and California. And what we like to do is we like to go out and do shows and set up booths so we can raise extra money and things like that. So we've been talking to some of the folks in Washington that we've met through the Instagram and things like that. And we want to try to get over into that area probably, maybe next spring, early summer. And do some trips up there then.
Yeah, and those are tough because they're big states, right? I mean, it's a lot of room to cover, a lot of miles, but beautiful country, and you guys could turn it into a real fun spring, summer travel with time dependent. Have you ever driven the car and then flown home and then flown back because it is such a time demand?
So it's kind of funny though. We did do that. I am a family guy, so I don't like to miss the small things and the events with my kids. So my little girls had dance recital before, so we dumped the car in Kentucky at a shop there. You may have heard of Vintage Flats before. They make a lot of the satin and matte paints and everything. So they let us keep the car there in Kentucky, and we flew home, and we got back right in time to see my little girl's dance recital. And then we waited a couple weeks, and then we flew back up and got the car. But normally the car goes out, and the car comes back with us.
Cool. Well, keep doing what you're doing. For the audience, if you want to donate, you can get on sweetpatina.com. Also, there's links there where it'll take you to ALS and you can donate. So if you just want to do a monetary donation, they have plenty of avenues and access that you can reach out. And honestly, every little bit counts. If it's $5, if it's $50, give what you can. Skip the latte today. Donate to ALS. And we just want to thank you, Blake, for what you're doing, your dad as well. We're glad that you were able to turn your hot rod passion, hobby into something worthwhile for a cause. And I'm sure Mr. Bernard would be very thankful and just happy that you're continuing the journey. And without a doubt in my mind, you'll get all 48. We support you as much as we can.
Thank you, Ronnie. And also, I just want to remind you guys, if you go to sweetpatina.com and you click on your state's ALS chapter, you're going to get a receipt from the ALS Association. So just remember that when you donate to the ALS Association, it does not come to Blake and it does not come to Sweet Patina. You will get a receipt that's a tax-deductible charitable donation from the ALS Association chapter that you donate to. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that too.
It's all 501c3, tax deductible. So if you could donate, please do it. Sweetpatina.com. Blake, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Well, we got a beautiful 69 Shorty, CST, big block. Byron Morgan, you're out of Idaho Falls, Idaho. You came down. That's what grabbed me. It grabbed me that I see the truck, beautiful paint, beautiful setup, stance, everything. You've got the recipe down. I like to call these type of trucks all the right moves, because you've done it. The recipe is a win. But then I saw your Idaho plate, and I thought, hell, I better see if, are they visiting or are they down for the show? So, Byron, thanks for taking time to be on C10 Talk. We want to get to know your truck a little bit, but what was your thoughts on coming down to the Get Down?
It was my first year down here. We planned about a week ago to come here, and it was worth the 13-hour drive, and we're coming back every year, and eventually we'd like to retire here in 10 or 15 years. This truck scene down here is like nothing else. Yeah. Absolutely nothing else, and if you're a C10 truck guy, this is the place to be.
Well, and you showed me a few of your trucks, besides what you got here, and you are a C10 truck guy. So we love guys like you. Now you've got a beautiful CST, bucket seats, a big block. You've got billet specialties. How'd you come across this truck, and did you build it?
Well, I bought it from my wife's uncle. He had it for about 10 years. It was painted already, but the chassis needed redone. So I blew the truck apart, took the body off of it, redid the chassis, did all ride tech in the front, 4-link the back with no limit engineering, put coilovers on all 4 corners, did Willwood brakes front and back, powder coated the chassis, and then I took the original 396 out of it and built a 468 that's 600 horse, 600 foot-pounds of torque, and it's a fun truck to drive. Just love building them.
600 horse. What tranny?
It's got the Turbo 400 in it, the original
Okay.
Turbo 400.
So she scoots, and then like a 373 gear?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 373 in the rear.
Now, did you drive it down, or it looks like it's more of a trailer truck?
Yeah, 13 hours is too far to drive for me. So.
All right. So when you do drive it up there at home, is it a weekend cruiser, something that you would drive it and, maybe go for a day, or what's your typical Idaho C10 cruise?
Oh, probably 25 to 50 miles from Idaho Falls to Pocatello, about that range. But we do a lot of local shows in the few months that we have in the summer, and I drive it to them. But when I come this far, it's nice to have a new truck to drive. So.
Well, it's a beautiful truck. You said it was painted before you got it?
Yeah, it was all painted, but the suspension underneath was painted all red, and it looked like crap. So I took it apart, powder coated it, and put all new modern suspension under it, new brakes, and like I said, took the old 396 out and put the bigger motor in it. And I just had fun tearing it apart and building them. I love to build them. So.
How long have you had it done?
I've had it done about 5 years now. So.
What's the response been out here? People go by, you're in a great spot. It's definitely got that red with just a tin of orange, and then you've got the billet specialties. Looks like 20s.
Yeah, 20
20s.
by 12s.
Okay.
20 by 12s in the back, 20 by 10s in the front. So.
People digging it?
Yeah. There's a lot of cool trucks here, though.
What you think about walking around? What's some of your favorites that you've seen?
I like the Square Body Syndicate stuff over there. Them are some of the baddest trucks, and of course your Orange Slice, love them. I've become a big fan of Square Bodies in the past year.
Yeah, really kind of grow on you. You showed me a couple 67 to 72 style, and it's funny how we just kind of keep bumping and we see different things. It looks like, was the interior done before you got it? Because you've got like the 72 style door panels, and then was it always a bucket truck?
Yeah, it was always a bucket truck, but they put newer door panels out of a 72 on them. So, but yeah, it looked like that when I bought it.
Okay. Do you get any offers on your trucks? Do you sell this truck and then move to the next project, or do you like to keep a few in the stable?
I collect them. I don't like to sell them. Somebody comes along and offers me the right money, everything's got a price on it. So, but I just like to build them and play with them.
Give me a truck that you'd love to build. It's on Byron's bucket list right now. I said, okay, you've got X amount of money. You're going to stumble across this perfect dry truck, Blazer, whatever it is. What's on your list if I said you got one more amazing build in you?
I'm actually building a 66 right now, factory big window short bed pickup. I'm painting it a metallic Galaxy gray, House of Colors gray, and I'm two-toning it with a cement light gray top and body side stripe down the center of it. And I built a 632 for it, or actually bought it. It's a 632 big block that's 921 horse, and I bought it from a company back east in Kingsport, Tennessee, Skip White Racing. Bought the complete engine, transmission, the whole 9 yards, but I got a little board with 600 horse and wanted something a little bigger. So that's one I'm building, and I'm going to bring it down here when I get it done. It's painted. It's getting painted right now. The box is done, but the cab needs redone, and obviously I still got to put it all back together, but it's 2 years away, and I'll bring it down here.
Is this something that you just tinker with? Were you always an auto guy, or did you kind of self-taught? Do you do a lot of the work yourself? Therapeutic? How do you get into being such a guy who's wrenching on your days off?
I started tearing stuff apart when I was little. Started with bicycles, and then I got into trucks.
Sounds like a lot of our audience. You came down from Idaho. What do you think about the show?
Oh, we'll be back every year. This is a place to be if you're a truck guy. It don't get any better than this.
You gonna bring some buddies?
Yeah, I got some car buddies in Idaho. If they're willing to make the 13-hour drive, but I'll come with or without them. I'd like them to come because this is the place to be if you're into trucks.
It's inspiring, right? You come down here and you see all these trucks, and you go home, and like you said, hey, I get a few shows, or we meet together for cars and coffee. You come down to something like this, and you're like, holy shit, this is a big-ass show.
Yeah, you walk around the corner and find one of the coolest trucks you've ever seen, and you walk 20 more feet and you find another one. It's unbelievable. Awesome place.
Good. Well, we're glad you came. Thanks for you, your wife, and the journey. Go home, have fun, have a safe trip home, and then come back next year and see us.
Yeah, look us up next year. We'll be here.
All right. Thanks, Byron. Do you have social media?
I don't. I have an Instagram, but I don't really do much with it. It's bmorgan1968. So
B. Morgan, 1968. Let's kind of prompt him or push him to post a little bit more, because I'll tell you what, this little 69 is a looker, but he showed me a couple other ones that he's got and some that he's building. So put them on there so we can check them out, and we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Thank you.
Hey, you bet, Ronnie. Nice to meet you, and we'll see you next year.
Take care. Hey, they're tempting us with more builds already. We haven't even started the interview. I like this style. So I got Jesse Encina's hometown, Chandler. What up, C-Town? And lives out in Queen Creek, Arizona now. So it's funny, Jesse, we just wrapped up an interview with a guy who's from Idaho, and he's like, dude, your guys' truck scene out here is ridiculous. And it is. We're lucky. We're blessed. You found OG original 86, 87, four-wheel drive, and then you did what you did to it. So walk us through this truck, because I love the patina and the way you kind of kept it and captured it. Tell us about your truck, and thanks for taking time to be on C10 Talk, brother.
Cool, thanks. Hello to everybody, I guess. So it's a 86 Silverado, originally a 4x4. We pulled the V6 out of it, put a LS3 in it, 4-link suspension in the back, recycled everything we could find. We took this front end off this other truck. My brother donated the 12-bolt for the back. Had this guy that I work with that did the firewall and custom made those fenders, and then bumpers, trim, a lot of hard work, sanded. We worked on this front hood there for 3-4 hours, who knows.
You said it was a four-wheel drive originally. What was your thoughts? Did you contemplate leaving it four-wheel drive, or you're like, dude, let's get this thing on the ground?
The original plan, we bought a 69 C10, and we want to make it into a 4x4. So the guy's like, well, if you want to buy this truck, you got to take this one with it. And we're like, twist my arm. So it was, the body originally looked pretty damn clean. So we thought, you know what, let's just take everything off it, transfer it to the truck. And we had a lot of extra parts laying around and stuff, so we decided, hey, let's just try to get everything we got and shove everything we possibly could into this 86.
Well, you made a good move. Now, where's the other four-wheel drive?
The side of the house. It's gonna be a while. That's gonna be a 5-year deal, maybe. I don't know. It's a lot of work.
So going 2 to 4 is a little more work, but bringing this one down, you guys did a great job. You got an LS3 in it. You found somehow the right grill, because it's got the blue on it, wraparound bumpers, obviously. Looks like LS Fab's got the hood hinges, and everything's sitting right. Yeah, let me go around here. I love the color, just the amount of brown with this blue. I mean, that's one thing about blue, Jesse, that blue with the brown patina, it makes it so much more rich. And then you guys put the intros on it. Was it a lot of decision making on how far to take the truck down? Obviously the wheels. What was your thought process on all that?
The biggest debate was whether we were going to paint the inside of the bed. So we raised it up 9 inches and tubbed it out, and we just kept on going back and forth. Are we going to sand it, paint it? Because we welded a whole bunch of holes, and we just, at the end, we were like, you know what, let's just leave it the way it is. That way we can throw ice chests and chairs back there, sit back there, and get real use out of this truck.
Did you get a new dash pad for it? Some new interior?
Yeah, the whole, pretty much replaced the whole interior. Reupholstered the seat, and then basically replaced everything on the inside. It was pretty rough on the inside.
You've heard me say it a few times, you guys. Our Arizona metal looks gorgeous, depending on the life. This 86 that they found, the metal, depending on how it looked like when they picked it up, but the way it looks now with the nice rich brown and then the blue lower, no brainer. It's the interiors that just take it hard in Arizona. The dashes, the seats, the steering wheels melt and gum up, and that's just the life that we live here. So we're fortunate that we can get the new interior, and then you guys are massaging and making the metal work. Funny, one thing, tell us about that little dot there on the top.
Yeah, so at the top of the cab, it had a magnet CB antenna, so it sat up there for 20 years. Protected that original blue paint up there, so it's kind of a cool little deal up there.
It's a little marker spot right there on the cab.
We pulled out about 30 pounds of pecan shells out of this thing. It was under a pecan tree for years and years, so there was pecan shells everywhere all over this thing.
Another thing that I really dig, and it's my soul on these trucks, is that this truck was kind of put out to pasture. You guys saved it, and look at this thing now.
Yeah, it looked like it was done for under that. It was a mesquite tree, right? We had to pull it out with the tractor, and we had to cut the tree to get it out. And then, but there was really no major rust that we had to replace.
Did you just get it done, or you've been driving it for a while?
It's really not 100% done. We basically got done Thursday night at 11:30, and basically limped it over here. So we got a little bit to go on it.
All right, cool. That's the journey. That's fun. You went some big rear tubs. It looks like maybe I know AMD makes a new tub. Where'd you guys get the tubs?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so AMD, you guys went up 9 inches in the back. Everything looks really good. New band for the cab, and then a few spots that they spot welded throughout on the cab. And again, because of the patina and the character on it, you got a name for this thing?
No.
Come on, think of something. The pecan truck or something? I don't know. The walnut pecan tree truck. Anything? What's the biggest thing you guys got left?
Probably the air ride. I got to get the air ride done. Arizona High Test is going to do that for me, Jason.
Never heard of that guy. So AZ High Test is going to hook it up. Now you've got everything plumbed, and you're just going to need a management system.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Right now we can just air it up and down, but he's gonna set that up when he squeezes it in there.
Okay, cool. Squeeze it in there, and we know he does the best of the best. Love the wheels, love the setup. Cool truck. Thanks for saving it, Jesse. You and your crew and your team. Hope you guys enjoy the shit out of this thing because it's a rad ride. Jesse, thanks for doing what you did. Love it. Your team, your crew. Rad ride, bro.
Thanks. Thank you.
Hey, guys, I have Jim Flanders, Brothers Trucks on. Jim, what's the latest?
It's the same old thing over here. We're grinding away, selling truck parts, and really focusing on our YouTube channel.
The cool thing is, myself included, I'll check that channel out. It's a great customer service, a benefit to us. When we buy something, we can get in depth and know a little bit more and know the ins and outs, especially to watch it even before you go to install the product.
Yeah, absolutely. And we built a tech center in the back of the warehouse, so we literally bring in new products, we'll build them onto a truck or put them onto a truck, and we can see instantly how much work it's going to be, how easy it is. And we put that out to our YouTube channel so people, like you said, they'll be able to look at it and go, you know what, I can do that job in a day, or I can do that job in an hour. And it basically just completes a whole package of not just selling the product to a customer, but really backing them up when it comes to showing them how to do it and just making sure that they've got everything they need to get the truck back on the road or keep it on the road.
Like I said, I've watched it myself. I love it. Now, I heard you're rearranging some stuff over there. What's going on in the warehouse?
Yeah, we actually, this last year, we've been building a ton of inventory. And for a long time, we've always said, if you don't have it on the shelf, it's hard to sell it. People want to have it on the shelf. They want to know they can call and get it out the door that day. So, we're just trying to be more efficient. We're trying to have more inventory on hand. And, we've done a really good job at building inventory over the last 25 years. So I think that's what's putting us in the lead in this truck market for sure.
I totally agree. Brothers Trucks, you guys, for all your Chevy and GMC truck parts. And don't forget, they're putting new stuff on their YouTube channel all the time, so check it out. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Boy, oh boy, this is one of them trucks where you have to look at it a few different times. I got caught up here with Dwayne Becker. He's out of Oregon, but he visits here, part-time snowbird in Sun Lakes, Arizona, so he's here. Dwayne, thanks for taking the time to be on C10 Talk. Now, we've got a 69 truck, but it's got a 68 hood, so let's start with there. Thanks again for taking time to spend with us. What'd you do in the front, first of all, before you even think about getting to the rear of the truck?
Okay, the front hood, I had to cut 1.5 inches off the nose of it. So, and also had to spread the rear of the hood a little bit to make it fit the body. If I lift the hood, you can see that I changed the hinges. Also put shocks to hold the hood up. Okay. The hinges are not what you normally would buy. It's something I designed after years of trying to figure it out. And also took the inner fenders out. This truck has had the frame Z'd 4 inches, so the motor's set down and back. Therefore, I had to replace all the inner fenders. Got a 350 motor with a 700R tranny, stock rear end. Looking at the back of the, I don't know if you want.
Well, now you hold on, stay here. Hold on. Now you laid this hood back though.
Actually, cut 1.5 inches off the nose of it, so it fit down in the grill here. The grill is a 69, so normally the 68s come over the grill.
But your 69 hood wouldn't have this slope. You've got a 67, 68 slope to the hood as well.
Exactly, it would be a flat nose hood.
So you laid it back then?
This hood is actually off of a 68. Yeah, it's a 68 hood.
Okay, so a 68 modified hood, that clarifies it a little bit, because obviously you've got a 68 hood on a 69 truck. So definitely got some fabrication going on. So let's work our way around here. Beautiful grill. Everything looks really clean. You kept the 15. Now I videoed this and I'll put this out there too, but this is for the pod. So for the audience, if you're listening to this pod, you have to go check out the video, because it's one of those things you got to see. And I wasn't even paying attention to the hood to realize that it was a 69 truck with a 68 hood, but that'll be somewhat evident when you start looking at it. Now, we go through, we've got 15-inch rallies, we're working our way, we look beautiful. We've got 68 trim, which is going to be different than on a 69. So you're definitely playing with our brain here a little bit, and that's okay. But now, let's come all the way back here, and this is one thing that nobody has seen before. And what I was saying on my video is it's called What the Hell Bobby, because you bobbed it. So what were you thinking on this, Dwayne?
Well, about the time I started this truck, everybody was going to the 67, 68 short box. At that time, I decided to start building this thing, and I just wanted to do something different. So I decided to chop the back end off rather than chop the front and back. I closed in the tailgate, took all the hardware out of the tailgate, so all one piece now. I had to move the inner bed floor up 4 inches because of the body's been lowered. Everything is in the stock location. A lot of people think this side is longer than it should be, but that's the stock length for a long box.
So what he's saying is that the distance between the front of the bed to essentially the front of the wheel well is stock. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to argue with him because it doesn't look it. Of course I believe him. It's his truck. But it absolutely does not look it at all because there is no ass end. So you're visually looking at the truck. You see zero ass end, enough for the marker light hangover after the rear of the rear end of the rear tire. So it makes the front look gargantuan. And the only thing I'm getting from a reference perspective, Dwayne, is on this side, for the audience, we're standing on the passenger side. On this side, at times you'll see the glove box or a toolbox. And that's where I'm kind of getting a reference. It's not there, but it just looks humongous on here. What is the wheelbase of the truck? Is it a short bed, like 115?
No, it's a long bed wheelbase. It's got the drivelines, that two-piece driveline, so that's all original stuff underneath there.
So you left it, so it's a 137 wheelbase. You just cut the whole ass end of it off.
That's right. That's correct.
So it drives great, it handles great, no difference. You just don't have any hangover.
Better than the Cadillac. It's air ride all the way around, front and back. Pretty much stock, except for the spindles are 2-inch drops. The back end stock, other than the airbags.
What air management are you running?
I'm running AirTech, and the air management is.
Do you have a Vi-Air compressor, or how many compressors do you have?
I had two. I put one back. I only need one. I got a big enough tank to hold the air. Also, all the unit is right underneath the bed here.
What do people say when they see this truck? I mean, it's definitely an unorthodox setup. Again, it's just a little bit of a mind or eye trickery with, I saw that it said 69. You got 68 trim, 68 hood. Why did you change any of that in the front? Why didn't you just leave the front? Do you like to play with that part of it and just mess around with some of that stuff?
Yeah, it's just a matter of having people come by and scratch their head, wondering what the heck, why the changes, and they really don't understand what I did until you walk them through it.
Even you knowing that it's the stock front length, does it kind of play with your mind too, looking at that? Does it throw you off, or are you just so used to it by now?
I guess I'm used to it, but once you've not seen it for a while and you look at it, it looks a little strange.
What do people say?
Well, they don't really say anything. They kind of come up there and they look at it, and then They just stare at it, you know. And a lot of times, if they got a lady with them, they'll tell them what the changes are.
The lady will? Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. Well, it's definitely something that's unique, something different, definitely a mind, you know what. Well, do you have a name for this thing?
No, just strange, I guess.
I'm calling it Bobby because you bobbed that rear end. I was calling it what the hell, Bobby. But Dwayne, you're out of Oregon. You're here in Arizona. You know, another thing I noticed too is you put the wood grain on the around the bezel there. That looks really good. Yeah, so you've got some different mods in here.
I might mention I drove this down from Oregon. I didn't trailer it.
Okay, so you drive it a lot.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere I go.
How many miles have you put on it?
Oh, probably, well, it just turned 100, so there you go.
All right, good deal. Dwayne, thanks for taking time to be on C10 Talk. We dig your truck. It's definitely different. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep enjoying the hobby. Thanks for coming out. What did you think of the show?
Great show. It's bigger than last year by far. A lot of people. I was here yesterday also, so this is the first time I brought a truck. Been to 2 of his shows. Good show.
Good. Dwayne, thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Wrapping it up in style. 1976 Silverado. And Dave out of Albuquerque, Project Gold Digger, hashtag Gold Digger. I tell you what, Yuba Gold, can you ever really go wrong with that in 1976? How long have you had this paint? I mean, this thing is beautiful, Dave. Welcome to C10 Talk. Thanks for taking time.
Thank you, Ryan.
Love the truck and love the color. How long have you had this truck done painted?
I painted about 1.5 years ago. I've had the truck about 2 years. Bought it sight unseen. Wasn't real happy with it. Made it my own.
Where did it come from when you bought it sight unseen?
North Carolina.
Okay, so you saw it online, eBay, Craigslist, and said, okay, I got to have it?
Facebook.
Facebook Marketplace.
Built a 77 before this, sold it. Gentleman in Arkansas, looked for another truck, found this one. Here it is. Dino's.
So when you got it, the body wasn't quite what you thought.
It wasn't, and that was kind of my fault. You know, I bought a truck sight unseen, had cash in hand, wanted a truck right away. They were starting to disappear, and I jumped on one. And I'm happy with the truck. Don't get me wrong, but I'm in love with it. It's come a long way since year 2.
You know what's cool about Yuba Gold? And then when you have it, a lot of times you'll see it with a white, but you've got it with a tan.
Correct.
And is that a buckskin? What color do they consider the tan?
It's a neutral.
Okay, so a neutral tan in between two-tone. But the key is can you imagine, like, we see our eye palette sees so many colors. You know, this truck's obviously looking at 40 plus years. Can you imagine this truck in 1976 and this color? You know, because I don't know that Yuba Gold came out. I know I've seen a 75. I don't know if I've seen a 73, 74 in Yuba Gold. I'm not saying there is no Yuba Gold before squares, so let's just say that. Right. Dude, these dudes were pimping, man. I mean, some dudes sitting around saying, I want Yuba Gold, are like, are you kidding me? And then it's just radical.
That was the color to have back in the day, I believe, and I think it's a color to have nowadays.
Of course you do. It's your truck.
That's right. I'm, like I said, I'm stoked about the truck. It's come a long way, and it's got a ways to go, but we're doing a 6.0 swap on it next year. 4L80. Gonna clean up the interior, maybe change it up a little bit. I like the old school look, but it's kind of worn on me, so we're gonna modernize it a little bit. Maybe upgrade the suspension.
Did you paint it?
I had a buddy from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Eyeball Customs, Patricio Torres, did a fantastic job on it.
I like the way you say it. Do that one more time.
Patricio Torres.
Patricio Torres from Eyeball Customs. Hey, Mr. Patricio Torres, you did a great job. Obviously, both eyeballs are working just fine because this thing looks rad. It looks really cool with the Yuba Gold. Another thing that accents with just GM, and you get it with different trucks, different color. But really the square body yellow, the ochre that they have inlaid in the different bands or badges and stuff like that. So it really does. I don't know, what don't you like about the interior? The interior looks good. You got a Snowden seat. You've got it looks to be a stock dash that's uncracked, so you lucked out there. Beautiful interior. Door panels look great. Come on, man.
It's got some wear. The mat pockets are stretched out. I can tighten those up, but I'm looking for something a little different. I don't want to be like everybody else. I've always had just a little, I don't know, maybe it's ego, I don't know, but I just want to modernize it a little bit. And
one thing with the Yuba Gold truck, you're definitely not going to be like everybody else, but I see what you're saying. You're going to freshen it up. You got the US mags. What size?
We got rear, we got 22 by 11, front 22 by 9. We fit a 325 tire in the rear, 265 up front. Slosh tubs. Had to run the slosh tubs.
And what do you call this? Is that new wheel? It looks like the Rambler, but they're not spaced out exact.
This is the new US Mags Bullet. Anthracite finish. Compliments of Catoni Customs.
Catoni Customs, and where are they out of?
They're out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay, and they're right next door to Eyeball Customs or down the road?
He's right next door to me.
He's right next door to me. Okay, so good banded. Bumpers look good. Really, the color, everything looks good. What exhaust are you running, Dave?
That's Flowmaster 40s, 2.5-inch pipe. That'll get changed once we do the LS swap. It sounds good. It's got a little cam in it, a little 350 small block, long tubes. Runs really strong.
I'm thinking that you guys did not paint the inside of the bed, and I like that.
No, I use the truck, so I wasn't looking to do that. I am currently putting new tubs, which I picked up here at Dino's. We're going to do a Raptor liner inside.
What color will you do it? Will you try to match, or will you go like a black?
I'm doing traditional black.
Okay. I've seen a few out here. If you go over to like Eye Candy, they did that little watermelon truck, and he was kind of breaking down how, they can put that to a specific color. So I was like, hey, maybe you do it. Obviously, it would probably fade a little bit. I like that you kept the Yuba Gold in there. It adds that character, or I guess gives it the soul that, where it comes from. Correct. All in all, Project Gold Digger is coming together really nice. I like how you're doing it in phases and steps. You got the sport mirrors. I think the interior looks really good. Just considering, I think just like you, we're all kind of a little bit traditionalist. We like that purist and hold on to something, a part of the truck. Dave, keep it up. You drove it out from New Mexico. You're headed home today, or are you heading home tomorrow?
We're going back tomorrow.
Okay, safe travels. Thanks for coming out. What'd you think of this year's show?
Fantastic. Okay. Top notch. Dino does a great job. Gets better and better every year. 10-year anniversary. Over the top.
Where can they follow you on social media?
Hot Rod C10 on Instagram. I am Hot Rod C10 on Facebook.
Okay, and they can also check out Catoni Customs.
Catoni Customs on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, if you guys want to check out Project Gold Digger, check out this beautiful 1976 Silverado. They can. Dave, thanks for your time, brother.
Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate you.
Breaker 19, this is Joey G live from the Get Down 2020. It is a bitchin' turnout. We have about 3,500 trucks here from all parts of the country. We're talking Houston, we're talking Missouri, Los Angeles, Sacramento. It's fucking amazing. If you're not here, I don't know where the fuck you're at. You better fucking get here. This is the party of the year, C10 party of the year. This is Joey G reporting with Jose Drops Areas, Ty Farmer, Sam. We're out. Peace. Bitchin' boys.